The men of old, wanting good government in their states, they first established order in their own families. Wanting order in their home, they first rectified their hearts.
I do feel a bit different with Chinese parents. Maybe looks, the way English person's reaction when they see me. Yeah, they speak to you differently. They either have more respect or a bit teasing. I like living in Taunton, and the place is nice size and everything, you know, the town. Yeah, it's a nice, quiet place.
I'm Joseph Mo. I was born in New Territory, which is on the border between China and Hong Kong. When my father called me to England, he said, there's a very nice restaurant hotel just opened and looking for a manager. So I throw away my school bag. I was another 6 months to the exam and going to university. My father said, oh yeah, there are plenty of good university in England, Oxford, something like that. So I said, oh, that's good. So I can help with the hotel and also go to university. So when I came the second day, I have to start working in the kitchen. I think I closed my mind because I'm completely disappointed. Lai Ping, she was a bossy girl because the big boss, her brother, is not working in that hotel restaurant. So his sister is in charge of everything.
當我嚟到英國嗰陣時，有冇朋友？好靜，淨係睇細佬哥，冇咩人講話，感覺好孤獨。
My family, they all had a very different character. My eldest son, Charles Mo, he worked in a computer company, which is quite satisfying to him. My second son is James. James is probably a bit of a problem. He liked to do everything. He have probably a great ambition, like me. He's doing the designing art. So I think he's quite clever, so probably he will do well. My daughter, Susanna Mo, she is quite a special little girl. At the moment, I think she still haven't made up her mind doing what.
My parents speak Chinese together, and they speak back in English when I speak to them.
嗱，再媽咪3 kilo。我諗到佢咁樣嚟食 lunch 喎。
I had to learn English at school, and when I came home, I had to learn Chinese. They encouraged me to learn Chinese because they wanted me to keep some of my Chinese culture. So at school, I had to take on extra English classes. You haven't inquired about university then?
Living in Taunton, going to my school, it was quite strange because they acted as if they'd never seen a Chinese person before, but outside of a takeaway.
其實我去嗰度做咧，都係喺屋企坐住，得閒個頭去幫我，有時有人同你傾下偈咁樣，比較開心下。喺屋企比較靜啲。咩啊？菠蘿雞？香港雞。中國人好鍾意玩，因為佢得閒個頭，而且有啲人又鍾意去玩嗰啲賭咧，有刺激。佢中國人比較傳統，佢鍾意賭嘅，任何乜嘢嘢都賭。但係有啲男人就多數大賭，女人咧多數玩嗰啲麻雀啊，或者啤牌啊之類嗰啲嘢咯。我希望佢有少少中英嘅文化，就比較中國嘅文化比較好保守，英國咧比較自然鬆動。
Hong Kong Chinese who have moved from Hong Kong to England and who still keep their culture, who are adamant to speak Chinese all the time. They're the kinds of people who call people like me, as a second generation from immigrants, that you're sort of a banana because you're white on the inside, yellow on the outside. Why aren't you helping Susanna?
I don't need help. Go away.
One pair.
Well, when my brothers aren't around, it's quieter. It's a bit boring at times too. My oldest brother, Charles, he's in Hemel Hempstead where he works. And James, he's in university in Manchester. I'm more close to my oldest brother. And when he's around, he always thinks of something to do. And it's really nice.
There's one corridor that's open that hasn't got a door in front, you know?
Oh yeah, I clicked on them, didn't I?
Yeah, so he's going to open up the door. Come on. They take their time.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
Looks really complicated to me.
I always like tinkering with things. I think a typical electronic engineer, when they were young, they always like opening things up and seeing, oh, is this how it works, and looking at all electronic circuits. What about you at school? I'm quite a contrast to my father. I don't always share everything of his interest. Yeah. He has a very strong belief in his spiritual and philosophies, and I have a strong belief in my logical, scientific understanding. And of course, those will always clash. They don't fit, basically. And in that case, it actually does bring us closer. It's communication, basically. And he learns a lot about me, and I learn a lot about him. It's better than not talking at all.
In Hong Kong, when I'm in school, acupuncture is a joke to all the Hong Kong students. I always have a fascination about acupuncture. I go to London to an acupuncturist. Within the 6 months, I joined the acupuncture school. In our body, we have the energy running, forming some channels. This energy is which keep us alive and keep us in health. If one of the channel is blocked, so the energy either stuck or weakened, that is where the illness comes from. If the needle is inserted in the right place, then it will unblock that energy. I think why people looking for religion is because to live is not an easy thing. A lot of people just looking for enjoyment, but I'm not. I'm look deeper. I think because I read some Buddhist books of Buddhism, living is actually suffering. That's why when we born, we cry.
I remember when I was a kid watching my father painting Chinese calligraphy, and I used to join in, and he used to teach me how to hold a Chinese brush, and I'm really into that. I wanted to prove to my family that you can be an artist and make a career out of it. My star at the moment, simple, big, bold black lines to make a shape of a horse or something like that. I think you're gifted with another culture. You should nurture it and keep it, and pass it on. You know, it's knowledge. You know.
You, Mr. Maggie.
I'm English, but I'm not. You know, I have two cultures in myself. This is Ben. Steve. My parents sheltered me from English youth culture, and so I had to catch up quickly, and it was hard, you know, because you don't understand the jokes that people were saying in college. It's like, you know, Wham, what's that? George Michael, who's that? Silly little things like that.
Down here, so basically we just got to get on because the time's shifting off.
I've got a lot of friends who I can trust, and maybe it's because I was rejected when I was young. I've tried harder and harder to strive to make new friends, you know. When I was allowed to listen to pop music, maybe I think I sort of overloaded on it and wanted more and more, and started getting really into music. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm into DJing. But it's only a hobby. It's fun, you know. Unconsciously, I think, well, it's nice to be a DJ because you don't see many Chinese DJs about. You know, it's a new thing. You know, and why not? You know, just to stand out in the crowd.
Usually, people think meditation is only sitting. Qigong can be just meditation, just sitting. Also can be a movement of very slow exercise. This is our traditional culture, which is almost lost in some years, about 20 years ago. Because in those days, the Qigong master was only good enough to demonstrate on the middle of the market to earn a few pennies. But, in the 70s, Qigong become a big thing, partly because Qigong can be a very good medicine. So I think I should promote this Qigong. Mainly is because it is the cheapest medicine and it helps people. A good thing should not be put in the corner. I think wedding is probably the most important day of a Chinese life. Suddenly we have a relation with sometimes unknown family. I don't remember much about my own wedding because the second half of it, I was drunk.
The wedding we had for my cousins in Birmingham is a typical wedding for a Chinese couple. The registration is usually held in the English traditional white dress. But then when it comes to the actual banquet, it changes to the Chinese red dress. The actual meal we had in the banquet is very typical. You have numerous courses. And it's important that you have a good number of tables. It's just to show how much respect you have. If there's a lot of family politics actually goes into weddings as well. With my cousins on my father's side, they're all married, Chinese wives. On my mother's side, things are quite a big contrast. A lot of my uncles on my mother's side actually married English wives. There's just two different lifestyles there. My parents, yes, initially wished that I would have a Chinese girlfriend. But I think my parents are quite different from a typical Chinese family. They're quite liberal in that sense. My parents have already met Cindy, and to my parents, is the character as important overall. So, and they have now quite have accepted her. Where is this?
One thing I'm quite happy is my 3 children. I know they will do well, and I'm lucky I have a good family.
Remember here, what are we doing?
Eating bread.
Eggs.
Egg. Does it taste nice? Taste better?
I can't remember what kind of eggs.
The egg is smaller.
There's tea eggs.
No, the egg
But
was
every
cold,
morning, that
wasn't
man bring us the egg. Remember?
Well, boiled in tea, so they've got.
No, not that one. Just
Marbled
plain
eggs.
boiled egg. Yeah.
All right.
Plain boiled egg.
Plain
it?
boiled
Oh,
eggs.
starving.
Oh yeah.
And then remember the eggshell
We threw them over.
Did we?
over to the other side, to the north side.
Yeah.
What?
We threw them over the side.
We littered the Great River of China.
We counted how long it takes to hit the ground.
There is a difference if I go to a friend's house. Their parents seem to let them out, and I think is different because with my parents are more protective in Chinese culture.
I think that was the
With
first.
me, I experienced not only a generation gap, but generation gap with the cultural things mixed in. So, if my parents bicker about something due to the generation gap, they would point out certain things which are to do with the cultural gap.
Where's us?
There's no way.
Why not?
I just noticed something.
Next.
Why?
Yeah, look at that.
That's nice. The 3 people there. So nobody.
Thinking about it now, my parents possibly were no different to any other parents. All parents generally have this thing of, they don't want you to stay out too late at nights. They would like you to come back on time when they say so.
Yeah, that is in Tiananmen Square in front of the Forbidden City.
So
Oh.
cute, Susanna.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shut up!
Oh.
Cute. Why wouldn't you? Why you change so much, Susanna?
We
But
don't
it's-
comment on that.
No, these are nice. These are very.
Remember
arty.
this?
It's what's the word?
Neutral.
Or grey?
No, it's yeah, it's
Natural.
Grey.
harsh and
Not harsh.
it's not. Yeah, well, no.
I think it's very cold.
What's the word I'm
Cool?
Cold.
Nice.
I think it's cold.
Yeah.
Grey. It's
Grey.
very grey and bleak.
Uh-oh.
Just a minute.
Let's go.
Bye, Charles.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Charles.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Ola.
Bye, sir.
We always feel the Chinese New Year is very important to probably to everybody. It's the first day of spring, so it will give us a new boost of life.
喺香港過中國年呢，就大家都要買新衫、新鞋、新襪，就平家庭屋企嗰啲父母多數要自己打掃屋企啊。
The unicorn and all the Chinese music, the cymbal and the gong, the very loud music is supposed to drive the evil spirit away. So you will have a better life the new year. There's quite a different atmosphere in the Chinese New Year. We still keep the tradition of giving the young children the lucky money. I think most Chinese people are glad that Hong Kong is coming back to the Chinese map. One day, perhaps retire, I will have a little house in the remote countryside of China. I want to live there for 6 months and then the other 6 months come back to England to my children.
The way I see it, it's just the family maturing. So going back to China, they would, it's like meeting a friend that you haven't seen for a long time.
My dad would feel happier if he went back to China to settle down, or Hong Kong. I don't know about my mum. I think she's quite settled down in England now.
本來我唔識講英文乜滯咧，就最中意返自己國家住，但係咧嚟咗英國咁多年，已經冇咗咩朋友親戚，自己喺中國住咧會比較好寂寞，但係心卡住有細佬哥。
My life is in England, and if I move back to China, it'll be really different for me. It's just like moving away from home.
Later. And then after 10 seconds, watch it. Look at the camera.
Say cheese. Cheese.